Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of Dakota's Talk Show. This episode is a episode of Capes and Crusaders, the second episode. Today we have Jonil and Scarlett with me. We're going to be not reviewing, but we're going to be talking our highlights and dislikes of the movie Avengers Endgame. So, guys, what's up?
What it do, flight crew?
All right, I dislike the entire movie.
getting,
I have no
getting right into it. All right, so we're gonna try to just make this a more natural feel than our last episode was. So, guys, you can just go right into it. Whoever wants to start, we can just talk.
Right. So, Endgame. What can I say? What is there to say? This movie, man.
sucks.
Yes, it felt very incomplete in a
I
way.
agree.
But
I agree.
I can't disagree with you more. Like I cannot.
it
Just
felt,
thinking about the movie makes me happy. It makes me whole as a person.
It doesn't.
Because
Not
you
to
don't
me.
like quality things, Dakota. That's why.
Okay, let's not bash on Dakota, please. Because
Scarlett,
because
wait, I just want to
hold on. No.
establish...
Wait, no, Dakota, hold on. I got this. Because somebody said they like Bohemian Rhapsody in here and said it was amazing, so I don't.
Yeah, and what does that have to do with? Okay, first of all,
No,
Endgame-
Jonil, even better. I got something better.
She said Batman Night. She said the original Batman sucks.
There was only one person in this chat, in our group chat, that said Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man trilogy sucked.
Yeah, and it was me, and I will stand by that statement. And it sucked, and it will always suck.
So,
until the end
viewers,
of time.
I hope you
Wow,
understand where
no.
Scarlett's coming from. She has the worst takes out of all of us, with mine being a little bit more logical.
I have the best, most freshest point of view you could ever imagine. It's
If you
And
think
to
Spider-Man
think-
2 sucks, ooh,
See, we were agreeing on things with Endgame, and then everything just spiraled down when she
everything
said,
spiraled down because you mentioned Bohemian Rhapsody and
"Yes."
everything else. That has nothing to do with it. But,
all right, but what do you? So, let's just transition this back into Marvel.
boy.
all right.
Right. So, one of the things that I did that really broke this movie for me, and will always be one of the reasons why Marvel movies don't interest me that much anymore, is mostly the comedy. The comedy in this movie didn't work. I found myself laughing at the most inappropriate things that were supposed to be serious. Tony's death, I found that kind of funny at the end. And now that I think about it, because I just rewatched Rise of Skywalker, and the scene where Rey goes, "I am all the Jedi," reminded me of Iron Man. And that
Do not compare Avengers Endgame to Rise of Skywalker.
No. I would no. Hold on.
That's blasphemous.
Endgame compared to Rise. Endgame is like Best Picture nominee, winning Best Picture for 2019.
Not
Or
even.
Rise of Skywalker.
Not even.
I'm comparing it to Rise of Skywalker.
Don't
It's like
compare it to
an Oscar
anything.
winner.
It doesn't deserve any comparison.
Fine. But I will say this: Infinity War is a better movie, and
Yes.
Infinity War should have just ended everything for the Avengers MCU universe right then and there.
That makes no sense for them to just finish off there. Business-wise,
Yes.
story-wise.
Dakota, there's a lot of movies that end off in a sour ending, and nothing goes from there.
Neil, I'm not saying don't end it in a bad way. What I am saying, though, is
They're not
that
ending
the
it in a
movies
bad
are
way.
making the movies.
They're ending in a great way.
I'm saying in a sour, sad way. Jonil, Avengers Endgame is the highest grossing movie of all time. Why would it make sense for them to stop?
Me. That doesn't matter to me. I don't care how much
cares
money.
What you think? Bob Iger does not care what you think. Kevin Feige does not care.
What?
Robert Downey Jr. does not care what you think. If it comes to stopping movies, they do not care.
Dakota,
They
I
are
don't
making
care.
money.
is paying their bills and you don't even know. Okay,
Dakota,
with his $12.
I actually,
Jonil, I feel like you spend a lot of money on this stuff.
No, I don't even know, Dakota. I don't care how much money a movie makes, because if I will every time I will see a movie and someone would say it's the highest grossing movie ever made, I will go back to Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which flopped at the box office. Legit, when I say flop, Dakota, I will mention it to people.
I know it made bad money in the movies. What I'm saying though is, as a studio, where you're as a studio, because you're saying they should stop. You're saying they should stop.
No.
What the studio is doing is to make.
Saying
you said it should have stopped with Infinity War.
Exactly, as a whole thing, as the movie. Don't end it in Endgame and then continue it, and then make the whole universe again, make it new.
Nah.
Not continue. Not. I'm not saying continue. Like leave it off
That
in
means
Endgame.
no
Infinity
Spider-Man.
War.
That means no Guardians of the Galaxy, no Doctor Strange, no Black Panther. It means all these franchises these people just started.
I could go without Black Panther.
I could go without Black Panther too. So I'm glad we agree on that.
Okay, but Captain America's gone. Iron Man gone.
No, he wasn't gone.
Iron Man's
what are you
not
talking
gone.
about?
They were going to be gone with their contracts anyways. They're in their 40s. They're not going to start a whole new franchise.
That's legit why they finished Endgame the way it was, because everybody was going out.
Now, if it was an animated movie or an animation series that they were doing, that's a different story. They could do whatever the heck they want because it's animation, and they don't have to age like they do in real life. That's different. This is real life we're talking about, though. You know, real life impacts the stories that they make.
Right. What did I say? The comedy didn't work. Captain Marvel didn't work at all in this movie.
He didn't.
What else? Oh man. One of the biggest problems that I had throughout this whole movie, right? It was how I understand they tried to hold on, where was it? How in the world did Hawkeye have a Infinity Stone in his hand and still survive? Because he had a glove?
I thought about that.
Because he had a glove?
I thought about that. Because the only time you've ever seen someone holding an Infinity Stone and have it hurt them was the Power Stone. That's the only stone that's ever hurt anybody when holding it. Because that's the only stone that anyone's ever held, and that they got hurt.
Dakota. This is a stone. These stones are something that
I understand, but now look back at Infinity War. Thanos is holding the Soul Stone, doesn't hurt him. And in Endgame, he holds the Power Stone, and it's hurting him. Think about that.
Dakota.
You just confused me even more because it
How
makes
did I confuse you?
No sense.
How? He's saying the Hawkeye holding the Soul
Stone.
Hold on,
just because it's called the Power Stone doesn't mean it has to be strong.
That's what the stone is.
But Dakota, an Infinity Stone.
I understand how powerful each stone is, but the Power Stone, they each have specific. They have specific powers to them. The Power Stone.
Where are the cameras?
When you say strength,
where are the cameras? It hurts. Am I getting punked? I don't know.
Jonil, it's clear as day. It's clear as day. Facts, no printer. Listen, the Power Stone is the only stone that's ever hurt anybody. Thanos held the Soul Stone. Hulk held the Time Stone. Hawkeye held the Soul Stone. No problems. No problemente. Nothing.
Yeah, Doctor Strange had the Time Stone wrapped around his neck forever.
Exactly. So he's
But it was concealed. It was concealed.
Yeah.
It wasn't on his bare skin killing him.
And Thanos holds the Power Stone and his arm changes colors and it's starting to hurt him. That doesn't make sense to you?
What? What?
I wish your camera would be on for the viewers to just see your reactions.
Dakota, okay.
Anyways, Thor's depression running gag wasn't funny.
Makes sense. It
made sense, yes, but it didn't have to be, hey, look, I'm fat, I drink.
Exactly.
I don't think after the first two really scenes we see of him with him being in the shack in New Asgard and then him talking about the ether. Besides that, where's the running joke?
The running joke is that, for example, when he was talking about how sad he is and he started crying and then Rocket slaps him and everyone starts to laugh, and they kept making it a gag, like, okay, I understand why Thor's depressed. I'm surprised that he wasn't depressed sooner. I mean, obviously he lost everyone, but it's not funny. And it's not even about it being offensive. It just wasn't funny. They kept trying to make a joke out of something that was never a joke in the first place. Like, I get it. You're fat. You like to drink. You like to play video games. Ha ha. Okay, how are we going to solve the problem? It was all this comedy that had absolutely nothing to do with the plot at all. It just wasn't funny.
Here's another thing that this movie didn't work for me. Black Widow's death.
Didn't work for me either.
Either one of them could have died, and I wouldn't have cared.
No, but Hawkeye deserved to die more because he willingly went and became an assassin after his family died. And
That is so yes.
She kept trying to atone for her past with the Avengers, and she was guilty. She was sobbing when she couldn't figure out a solution in the beginning of the movie. You're gonna tell me that she's the one that deserved to fall off that cliff? Really?
She didn't deserve. Hawkeye. She chose to do it.
Okay, I'm not.
Okay, but then again,
choice. I'm talking about deserve.
But then again,
a lot of people get what they don't deserve. Iron Man, you really think Iron Man deserved to die?
Yes.
I didn't care if he deserved to die.
But that's what I'm saying about Hawkeye, though. A lot of people deserve to die when they don't.
Hold on,
don't deserve to die, and they do.
That's the funny thing. This guy is an assassin. He killed, I don't know how many people. But then everybody takes him in with open arms because, hey, guys, remember New York in 2012? And remember Sokovia? Remember, guys, he's one of us.
Yeah. And I'm not pointing on that point. How does Hawkeye get to assassinate everyone but Bucky, who was under mind control by Hydra? How is he not exonerated of his crime instantly once they find out that he's been under the clutches of Hydra? How does that make sense?
It is not the same as comparing someone who is killing assassins and the crime mafia of the Yakuza. It's not like he was killing innocent people.
Oh, no, yeah, that makes it way better.
Yeah, it does, because he becomes just as bad as them by becoming an assassin.
Listen, I'm not saying it's right, but a bad guy killing bad guys, a guy killing bad guys is better than a guy killing good guys. Sorry to break it to you guys. This is the choices we have to make in our lives.
Still, but here's the thing. They established, oh, no, we lost Clint because he was in Mexico and he killed a bunch of guys. We lost them. But then everybody's like, yay, Clint's back. Yay.
Oh, yeah, the only person that was doing that was War Machine, though.
Yeah, but nobody likes War Machine, so it doesn't even matter.
Hey, man, come on. Let's not be harsh on War Machine.
He should have died in Civil War.
He should
I wouldn't go to that.
No, I'm not saying because I don't like him, but the emotional weight behind it, that would have been nice to see.
Yeah.
But they teased it in the trailers, and they weren't going to tease something like that in the trailers. We knew he wasn't going to die.
He's not a likable character. He's kind of
like I like him.
Marvel.
He's kind of like
Captain Marvel. Like, they're just cocky and they're just there to annoy you.
I don't agree with that.
Not really.
Him suggesting to kill Baby Thanos, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was the only redeemable moment. But other than that, what does he have? What has he done in the movies, really? What has he done except fall out of the sky looking like an idiot? Nothing really, right?
Okay.
Jesus, he's not a terrible person though. Like, he's there to help Tony. Like,
yeah, and he's doing a great job because Tony caused mass murder in, where was it? Sokovia? And that's the reason that Scarlet Witch hates him, and that kickstarted that whole Age of Ultron thing. Okay, yeah, he's doing a great job of being a guardian for Tony. Great job.
I'm not saying he's perfect, but
what was a thing that I have?
Give me 1 second, guys. Just give.
He's gonna have to edit this out.
Yeah, that, I guess he was snapped out of existence because he knew what he was about to say next was incredibly insulting and untrue.
Oh, I think he can still hear us because he has his AirPods in.
Right.
Maybe he took them off. There he is.
You guys can't hear me, can you?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, we can hear you.
No, I mean, did you hear me before?
Now no, we can hear you.
All right, good, because lunch is ready, but I didn't want you to hear all that.
Here's a problem that I have with all these movies, and it became apparent during Infinity War and Endgame. the audience treats these movies not like a movie. They treat it as a theme park ride.
Yes, I was just gonna say that. And there was someone that compared it. Who was the director that said that again?
A lot of them have. Martin
No, like the
Scorsese
main
has
guy,
come out.
Scorsese. Yeah, everyone jumped on top of him.
I'm
They're a theme park
agreeing.
ride, but they're still movies, man. Like it's
I
a
agree
fun
with
time.
the more and more that when I saw this movie, and I remembered to when I saw it opening weekend, the more I resonated with what Martin Scorsese said, because legit, somebody would gasp. It would be like not even gasp. A character would come onto the scene, and everybody would lose their minds. Doctor Strange shut up. Ah!
Is that a bad thing?
Stormbreaker. Not a bad thing, but it's annoying. I'm here for a story. I'm here for a movie, and not
It's
a run.
more than a story, and it's more than a movie. It's an event.
I mean,
especially if you go the first
event.
weekend, it's an event. It's just like Star Wars.
Nobody cares about Star Wars anymore. Nobody cares about Star Wars.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Only you, Dakota. You're the one that cares about it.
It's not.
I don't know about like everything else that has to do with the movie, but the movie is so far I can tell that nobody cares about.
Okay,
the
I
new
have to
trilogy.
disagree with you because a lot of people care because they have such issues. Hold on.
Anyway, should we continue talking about Endgame while he's out? We should.
Yes. We established. Ant-Man. Oh my God.
I actually find myself liking Ant-Man more, just because he's kind of like Paul Rudd has made the character into a likable, redeemable character, in my opinion. He wasn't as annoying as any of the other characters in Endgame.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Saying you're saying you liked Ant-Man in Endgame?
Yeah, I did.
The only reason why I don't like Ant-Man kind of is because of Ant-Man and the Wasp and how dumb that movie is, and I hate it so much.
It was fun.
I hate Ant-Man and the Wasp. No, Dakota, it wasn't fun. It wasn't.
I think you think too much into it. It wasn't a great movie, but I enjoyed it. It was just, there's a lot of humor. They weren't that good, but it was some. It's a popcorn movie. It's a popcorn movie. Just sit back and enjoy it. Not every movie is going to be a Spider-Man 2 or a Dark Knight.
No. I don't. I understand there's fun movies, but it's a problem of the movie is fun and I'm having fun. That's the thing that doesn't work for me, and I didn't have fun watching Ant-Man and the Wasp. I didn't.
What was the other thing?
The other thing was that as I was like, as I finished, I had finished watching the movie, and I was creating my notes and my overall thoughts about it. And this goes with it. It goes with the comedy, and I'm just thinking, if The Dark Knight had a comedic moment every 5 to 10 minutes, I would hate The Dark Knight so much, because The Dark Knight had serious. It had like everything was serious. It had a serious outcome.
They're different franchises, different movies, different studios. I agree.
Dakota,
I agree with you. I agree with you. But you can't compare it to something else that they're not run the same.
DC is different entirely. It deals with darker tones than Marvel does.
Just look at the villains that DC.
But that's not the thing.
With.
They only have the villains that work for them, Dakota. Because you're gonna tell me that Batman. There's gonna be a Batman movie with Calendar Man. Really, Dakota? Calendar Man?
Calendar Man sounds like pretty interesting, man.
Yeah, if they actually construct him into a pretty terrifying villain.
No, I'm just saying, like, they have deeper characters and deeper tones because they deal with that kind of stuff. That's what the characters are.
But here's the thing. Marvel can do that.
But they know what makes them money.
And that's the problem. That is the problem.
That's the problem with Endgame and Black Panther. I think those movies were
disappointing
because they catered to the audience rather than making a great story. Look at
Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier had those themes that you guys liked, or you guys are saying, and it was a great movie. I feel like that was one of
It was the best.
I feel like that and Iron Man has strayed away the most from the formula that they have. Those two movies right there. You see Iron Man, this
I don't.
guy.
This is my problem. I don't like when Marvel starts introducing the time travel thing into Endgame because it's already hard enough to keep up with the Flash and all those timelines and all those stories, but now you want to add time travel, which is a very
Time
delicate
travel in this
thing,
movie.
into Endgame, which already has complicated characters and stories, and then just make it even more confusing and nonsense and making no sense. That's another thing why I don't like this movie, because they just created endless time loops for no reason. For example, Old Man Cap, there's always going to be one Steve that goes into the ice and doesn't, or goes into the future, and then there's always going to be Old Man Cap. And that's why supposedly in Civil War, when they're carrying Peggy's coffin, there's an old guy on the right and Steve's on the left, and it just makes absolutely
I don't
no
think they
sense.
planned on that though at that moment. Or
No, they
maybe they
didn't.
did.
But that's what I'm saying. They're scrambling. They're like reaching, grasping at straws to explain things to the audience because nobody understands what they did. It was just a hasty way to end a great franchise, and they could have made it better, in my opinion. It was supposed to be an epic thriller about them avenging everyone that was killed, and instead they
Right.
tried to make it
And
funny and
instead,
likable and relatable. And that's
That's the
not what it was
formula.
supposed to be.
That is how they run their
Dakota,
movies though. I'm not saying that I
Dakota,
agree with it, but I'm telling you guys that is what we get because that is what they've been
I
doing and that's what we're gonna keep getting. Look
I
at what they do
hate
with
the
Age of
formula.
Ultron. Jonil, we were in high school. When we were in class when that trailer dropped of Age of Ultron. They made that scary trailer where we thought we were about to get some
Dakota.
badass moments from Ultron, and he turned out to be a joke. We all hate that.
Exactly.
But that's already said. That's already said. That's already done. We already know what we're gonna get. It sucks, but it
But
is what
here's
we're
the
gonna
thing:
get.
Marvel is afraid to take risk. They're afraid of it, and
Yes.
that's why I'm starting to lose interest in them because they don't do anything that goes with. It doesn't do anything different. Like, can they have a movie that doesn't have comedic moments every 10 minutes, every
Not
5 to
only
10
that,
minutes? Can they do that?
they're not consistent with character storylines at all. If you notice throughout the whole franchise, they kind of pick up these little storylines and then they drop them. And then something else is completely different in the next movie. And you're like, well, what
Yep.
happened? I don't understand why this is happening. For example, Cap going back to spend his life with Peggy, that's a dislike for me.
Beautiful.
It will always
Beautiful.
be a dislike for me. Invalidates her whole character and everything she accomplished.
Not beautiful.
Makes her into like just a love interest, basically.
Do you guys?
Captain America is my favorite character out
He
of
is.
he's my favorite character.
No,
He served
I
in the wars that he served.
don't care.
He served in World War II. He went down. His life was taken. His life was taken from him. What did he do when he came back up? He did his duty. He saved the world again in 2012, New York. Then you know what he did? He signed up with Shield. He signed up with Shield to
Hold
help
on.
people. Then he found out that that was false. He found out
Right.
that all his beliefs were
Right.
put in the wrong place. So you know what?
Right.
Boom, this man.
And that was the most
Captain America,
boom. Interesting part of him and his whole
Yes.
story
You know, a lot of
was
people,
him
a
being
lot of people-
deceived by the one thing that he trusted.
A lot of people.
But here's the thing, back to the point about the whole Peggy and him, whatever. Do you guys remember there was an animated Avengers movie that came out in 2006 called Ultimate Event
Yeah.
the Avengers movie, right? They made two. It was with one of them was Black Panther. But anyways,
I
once
believe they're on
Steve,
Netflix.
I don't know, but once Steve comes out from the ice, he finds out that Peggy is married, has children,
Yes.
and has moved on. And what does Captain America do in that? He moves on as well and continues on. He doesn't think about her anymore. He doesn't sulk on the idea that he can't be with her. He just moves on and continues on. But here we don't. Here it's like, I miss her.
Something
Different
else.
story.
Steve had started a support group, right, for grief counseling for people that couldn't handle it because he
How
lost
come
Bucky and because he lost Falcon. they just wanted to throw in the, oh, I lost the love of my life. No, you didn't. She wasn't the love of your life. She was maybe your first love, not the love of your life. You don't abandon people.
I'm more than sure if he went back and she wasn't wanting to be with him, then you know what? So be it. He would have came back or whatever.
Listen, you don't abandon family that you've made, that you've been with for over 10 years to go back in time with somebody that you knew for 3 years. You don't do that.
He was, that's your decision. He made his, and you have to respect it.
I mean, I have to respect it because I'm not a director and I can't change it. I'm just saying.
Only that, but him as a character, he gave his life for his friends. He gave his life for his country. He gave his life for the world and the universe.
He was the best.
He was allowed to choose.
It makes no sense, Dakota. It makes no sense. It's like if you were blipped away and I knew you forever. Now all of a sudden, I think about somebody that I knew like a few years ago and I had the chance to be with them. And I'm like, okay, bye. 5 years after you were blipped. That makes absolutely no sense.
But we saw in Avengers Age of Ultron. It was just a chain of bad events. It's not even that it came out of nowhere. We see in Endgame, in like the first hour and a half or whatever, where he goes back in time, he's looking at Peggy. He sees her in her office. You see that longing, that life he wanted to have. And in Age of Ultron, with this vision from Scarlet Witch, we're able to see that's what his dream is. His dream is to retire and to be gone from the war.
Do you remember in Winter Soldier when Peggy told him that the best thing that you can do if you can't change
was to move on,
and she moved on? That was the whole point. Bucky moved on. He went through worse than what Steve did, okay? A lot, 10 times worse. And he's somehow able to pick himself up, accept it in the best way that he can, and move on. And that's the whole point.
They move on.
Are inconsistent with Steve's character in the comic, like Jonil mentioned in the animated universe, in the video game universe. They just did not do his character justice in this movie.
You know why she said move on? Because there was never a way for him to go back. People move on because you can't always fix what you've done. He was able to fix what he did.
Isn't that part of his character development, though? Isn't that part of his character development, though? To move on and forget that. Why is he still thinking about that? Why is he still thinking about that?
Because that was the love of his life. You're always going to think about the love of your life. He was able to go back in time with her.
If that was the love of his life, why did he kiss Sharon? Oh, he was so quick to move on then, right? Oh, yeah. Let me kiss her. I've known her for five seconds, but let me go and kiss her because...
He kissed her in Civil War. That was 2016. That was 6 years after he... That was 6 years... That's why I said Civil War, no?
That's my point. Why is he thinking about Peggy like what? 15, 20 years after this whole thing happened? Why? For what?
Because it's...
It was just...
we're
you know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because they didn't want to kill him off. They didn't want to kill him off, so they thought, let me just
we're not in the age where neither of us, none of us, have been in that part of our lives where we found someone that we love as much as Steve loved Peggy. So we're really not.
Don't relate this to real life. This is about bad writing, Dakota. This is about bad writing. This has nothing to do with us personally.
And can someone bring another topic up, because we can talk about this all day and we're going to be in the same mindset we've had before.
Dakota.
Does anyone have anything else to talk about the movie?
Yes, the best part that worked about this whole film was the characters grieving, and we couldn't even get a chance for that. We couldn't even get a chance to see how the characters were living their lives because the writers and the directors knew, if we do this, most of our audience is going to get bored because their attention span isn't that great. So they're going to leave the theaters because they want to see a bunch of CGI characters fighting each other. So that's why they didn't do that. And they used, like you said,
that was only formula. 1 hour out of 3 hours of a movie.
That wasn't even an hour. That was like 40 minutes of scenes. It was only like 40 minutes. It was short.
Wait, which part are you talking about?
I'm talking about
grieving?
I think he means like,
yes.
Like for example, wasn't Aunt May
after they killed Thanos?
Wasn't Aunt May spared? What happened with her during those 5 years that she didn't have Peter? Stuff like that.
It's not part. What part does she serve in that story? Having Aunt May in that movie, what would it have done?
Or why don't they show us? Why don't they show us the characters when they're in the blip or wherever they were sent, the Soul Stone or wherever they're at? Why don't they show us that? All of the characters were snapped away.
I didn't really want to see that. I just wanted to see a deep dive of these characters
Yeah,
really
I agree.
really reeling in. I just wanted to see a deep dive of these characters reeling in how they mope with what happened.
You know what I
And
didn't want to
instead,
see though? Captain Marvel bragging about how powerful she is and then being
oh,
absent and then coming in the
oh,
last 5 minutes.
oh my God.
Wait,
She
wait, wait,
said,
wait,
I
wait.
am the key. I'm the key to defeating Thanos.
Jonil.
Yes.
About the first 30 to 40 minutes, we see people grieving. That's a lot of screen time for grieving. Up until the point where they go
Yeah.
to see Tony in the
Yeah,
woods.
but I wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see
You
see
want
how
2
these
hours of
characters
grieving?
live their lives.
Not 2 hours of
I didn't
grieving?
want 2 hours. I didn't want 2 hours. I wanted
40 minutes is
more.
basically an hour. It's 20 minutes less than an hour. Listen, they have a
Dakota.
story to tell. They're grieving. We need to move on. That's it.
Dakota,
40 minutes is a long amount of time. That's about half of a regular movie time.
Oh,
Dakota,
you know
I
what
have
was a great
seen.
point?
Wait, what?
You know what was a great point of the movie?
What was a great point? Don't say the end.
And Steve and Tony's conflict, I think, was very
That was
compelling.
really nice. I like that.
It was very
Okay.
compelling. I think
Yes.
I like that because obviously Steve understands that there's sacrifices because he's a war veteran and he gets that not everyone's going to get to live. And Tony's not like that. He feels plagued and guilty by whoever dies, which is another reason why it doesn't make sense that Steve went back because he's another casualty of war, another sacrifice, but just had to throw that in there.
That's actually a pretty good point. I like
What
that
were you
point.
going to say, Dakota?
Dakota is
Don't
in
agree.
dismay by our opinions.
I'm not. Dismay is a good word for it.
Here's
just-
my hot take. Here's my
Where's
hot take.
I don't think I can handle enough hot takes.
I felt bad for Thanos when he died. I don't care.
He brought this up again.
I don't care that he killed his daughter.
He killed
I
his
felt
daughter.
bad for him. Because in Infinity War, we see a man going through a journey.
You know what? We forgot to mention. I think one of them, besides Gamora, one of the most I don't want to say heartbreaking, but one of the saddest death scenes, Loki.
Loki.
We didn't even mention Loki in this one or the last one that we made a mistake in.
No, but Loki didn't die in Endgame, right? He just died.
No,
in
not
Infinity War.
in Endgame. Infinity War.
Died in
Oh
Infinity
yeah,
War.
you know what?
Yeah, he died in Infinity War. He didn't die in Endgame.
Yeah, you're right about that. But Infinity War and Endgame are so connected, and since we're talking about Thanos and the whole, that's the thing. That's the thing. Endgame and Infinity War is just one big movie in a way.
No,
And
don't compare Infinity
wait, hold
War
on,
to
hold
Endgame.
on.
Did I compare it, or did I say they're basically they're one huge movie that they had to split up?
This is in my notes. The time travel sequence drags on for too
No,
long.
I was talking about Loki.
I don't care about Loki. He's on a separate journey right now because he took the Tesseract. He's gone.
I understand, and we're about to see that. But I'm talking about Thanos.
He's gone.
I'm talking about Thanos. We didn't know there's a series or anything when he died. What happened was Thanos grabbed that boy's neck, choked him out. That was ruthless. You feel sad for that man? You really feel sad for the man that choked out Loki and threw his daughter off a cliff?
Because the writers made him into a likable villain.
He's he's insane.
Okay, he's insane, but the more you hear him talk, you're like, hey, maybe he makes a good point, you know? Maybe he's not so wrong after all. That's
let's kill everybody and create a new
That's kind of like that's a broad statement there, Jonil. I mean, mass genocide, solves every problem.
Would mass genocide work? Please leave your opinions in the comments below.
Have we
Do
not
you agree with mass genocide or do you not believe with it? Do you think it'll work?
Anyways,
do you think it will not work? Let us know.
Listen, I like that he was a character where you're like, he's, obviously he's bad, but he's not bad, like, you kind of like
mass genocide is kind of
bad. You kind of agree with some of the topics.
He's bad. He's
bad,
and he's bad.
He's trying to kill people.
That's why
you can understand.
That's why I like Thanos in Infinity War more than I liked him in Endgame, and that's why I felt bad when Thanos died in Endgame than Tony. Hey man,
I gotta say, Tony dying in Endgame, even though it was sad, it was kind of fulfilling his character arc.
That's what I've been trying to get you to understand for a year. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm telling you, nothing hurt me
but
more, guys. I want everyone to know. I've known these both for a long time separately. Me and Scarlett have had many discussions on this on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Black Panther used to be our biggest discussion. Black Panther is minuscule compared to our arguments on this movie.
Why
When I
are
found
we
out that she
getting
hated
into
this
Black
movie,
Panther?
oh my god, it killed me.
Why are we?
I actually remember when we went to see Captain Marvel together. That was another one. We just have a lot of different takes. But you know what? That's the point of these movies. These movies are art. They're supposed to have different opinions per person that watches it. Rotten Tomatoes has that at what, 94%? Scarlett said.
Art.
Art. Movies are art.
art.
Oh my, get out of here.
Endgame
Art can be bad.
Art.
Art. Some people can think that art is ugly, but it is still
art. Is subjective.
It is subjective.
No, it's not. You're subjective. It's like comedy. People say comedy. People say comedy is subjective, but you're the person that's subjective. It depends on what comedy you like.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is we're running short on time. Jonil did not like it.
5 out of 10. 5 out of 10.
I loved it. It has its bad moments, of course, but you know, I feel like the directors did what they could.
Out of 5 stars,
and it gave everything.
I give it out of 10. 5 out of 10. Not I
gave it a
stars.
10 out of 10.
No, you know, I'm giving it 0 out of 5.
Oh, got it.
I don't like rating movies on this channel. Did we like it or we did not like it? Because rating gets too convoluted. So we got a like, we got a dislike, and another.
As a matter of fact, I more than disliked it. I despised it.
Please, you can only kill me so much.
After I finally saw the movie on my own without having a whole theater screaming and clapping, I finally understood that I don't like this movie. I do not like it.
All right. And you know what? I can respect that. Do I agree with you? No. Do I like it? No. But you know what? It is what it is. But, you know, guys, let us know in the comments below what you guys thought about the movie. Let us know what you guys liked about it, what you disliked about it, because everyone does have their own opinions, and we want to hear you guys. So thank you, Jonil and Scarlett, for joining the channel today.
Next episode, we should have a poll. Do a poll on your social medias.
I have like
Spider-Man 3.
Oh, here we go.
Or Black Panther. Which one should we discuss?
What? I'll put that up for a poll. No, not Black Panther. Spider-Man 3, or we'll find something else. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it, and hope you guys enjoyed it. And stay tuned for the next episode.